Welcome back everyone to Redstone with Ripper. This is episode 16 and today we are covering everyone's favorite secret entrances and also the mentality behind secret entrances and what kind of thinking you really have to apply to build them. So let's get straight into it. So what do I mean by the mentality behind secret entrances? Well, you can look on YouTube, you can look anywhere, you'll find so many designs of secret entrances. Even on my channel, almost especially on my channel, I've done quite a few secret entrance videos over the years. I kind of got addicted to them for a little bit, but basically secret entrances, you can look at someone do them and you can go, oh yeah, boom, secret entrance, piston door opened up, and yeah, you put pistons there and stuff, and people are like, well, it's nice. Can I get a tutorial? Well, you look at this, you shouldn't need a tutorial for this. We have already covered this. I forget where we covered it. There we go. Right way over there. We covered it. This is a gem door. That's all it is. And you'll be finding, if you decide to make some secret entrances, most of the secret entrances just rely on the gem door, or at least the gem door mechanic, which is, you can see the 4 pistons here, and you've got the 2 pistons and the block there. So the 4 pistons pull the 2 pistons and the block. You can use like the top half of this or the bottom half of this, but most secret entrances kind of rely on this mechanic anyway. So you've probably knocked out about 50% of secret entrances there. So basically what I'm saying is it's not as hard as you make it out to be. So to attempt to prove this point somewhat, I went ahead and actually built this thing in front of you. This is a 2x2 trapdoor. And the thing is that I have never built one of these in my entire life. I just have never built a trapdoor before. I've just never done it. It's just not something that I've ever really wanted to do, or at least a flush trapdoor. I think I've built normal ones, but never a flush one like this. So I went ahead and it took me a while because I got a lot wrong. I put redstone torches in the wrong spot and I had like the center shaft obstructed when I started. I had blocks powered there, and basically it took me a while to get it right, but I'll try and I'm going to knock it away and show you those blocks. They are required. The glowstone's there just to not cut any of the redstone. I'm going to break out the framework here just so you guys can see in. So lever, and I thought I'm just trying to take you through my mentality, and I thought I can do a double power here to 2 torches so they can power the middle pistons. So I thought, yeah, they can power the middle pistons there. Then I actually did the thing I said. I ran redstone line to, if we turn it off again, to a block that was like here. And it didn't work because the central shaft was obstructed. So I had to run it round all the way to around here, and the torch is there powering this block. So it's just kind of an alteration I made. And yeah, it's pretty much just on the fly. And then I remembered my gem door mechanics. I remembered you have to power the middle ones first, just like in here. It's literally one of these rotated 90 degrees, so it's pointing upwards. So if you look at the repeaters here, it's the middle pistons, and then it's a 2-tick repeater to the outside. So I'm like, okay, I need a 2-tick repeater to here. And actually what I did was 2 ticks and 1 tick there because we already had the 1 tick here. So over here it's 0 ticks. Here it's 1 tick, so I kind of recognized that and said I need 1, 2, 3 ticks because I need 1 more than usual because this is already 1, it's usually 0, so this needs 3. And then I did this little thing here. This is a very, very good thing to remember. If you need to power 4 pistons like this, block diagonally, redstone dust. If you power this block here, that will power all 4 of them because it's powering this one directly, the one behind this block directly, it's pairing this one directly, and it's actually budding this one. So you actually have to have this piston here or the piston below for this to work, because this is budded and therefore is powered by the other pistons. But it's a very, very good way to do it. And yeah, just tweaked the timings, and it didn't take me too long at all. And this is from never having built one. I must admit, I do have a bit more experience than I'd say the average person in building one of these. But I just thought it'd be cool to kind of build a trapdoor for you guys, I guess. So yeah, this is really cool, and it's not the most compact thing, but what I would do now in a normal redstone build is I would say, okay, where can I shave blocks off this? Where can I make this better? Where can I make it faster? And all that stuff. I don't think it can get any faster than this, technically. But basically, how can I make it more compact and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I attempt to do now. But that's enough for building secret entrances. I know you guys want to know actually how to power these things. So I have all the powering devices here, and I want to mention that what I would usually do with a secret entrance is you don't want this lever just lying here. You don't want it here. You know, you go in your secret entrance and then your lever's still outside and you can't close it from the inside. What I would actually usually do is have a button or one of these input devices, which we're going to go over in a sec, and I would run it to a T flip-flop. Now, if we run over here, any of these T flip-flops, either this one or this one, whichever one really fits. Sometimes you have some vertical space, so you use this one. Sometimes you have horizontal space, so you use this one. You guys should know all about T flip-flops and stuff, I would assume. Come on, you guys are experts by now. If you're not, go back and watch the T flip-flops episode. Basically, all you have to do is place a button, say, we'll grab a button. Say if we place the button here, and this is just as an example. We'll place it over here, just so it's a bit more out of the way. Then we grab this, and then grab the redstone dust. Go, get out. And then we can run it up here, run it to just a T flip-flop over here, and then have the T flip-flop run in to this line here, and it would work exactly the same. And what you can do on the other side, so you got a wall over here, you put another button here, you run that to the T flip-flop, you can open and close it from both sides. An XOR gate also works. However, usually you have to have the lever present still on the outside, so it actually becomes a bit of a hassle. So just wanted to mention that. I didn't actually explicitly put any in any of the T flip-flop in any of these builds because I didn't find it that important to, but just letting you know that's what I usually do. So let's move on to the input devices. So of course I just went over, you have the button, boom, pff, not that hard. You can put a floor over it, and these are all, mind you, you cannot see any of the redstone from the outside. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a secret entrance if you could see the redstone from the outside. So what you can do is obviously put a floor on this, whatever, and you can only see the button, and it's still obviously going to activate it since you can now put buttons on the floor. Thank you very much, Redstone Update, for allowing that functionality. The next one we're going to move on to is the redstone torch key. So we're going to put this here, and you can see, and I didn't quite get the redstone lamp. So watch the redstone lamp. You can see we get a bit of power from there. Now how this works is that block there, behind this block is a bud piston. So it's a bud switch, and what it is a pulsing bud switch. So you have a redstone torch under here to align to a 1-tick repeater, and that 1-tick repeater is budding this piston here, so it can be running into the block above it as such, or any of the diagonal blocks above it. Just, you guys know bud switches, we went over them quite a few times and in plenty of other builds, so you guys should be pretty much experts by now, I'm assuming. So what this does is the bud switch is hooked up to kind of its own activation, so when you hit it, it pushes its own redstone torch back at you. So that's how every redstone key works in the entire world, I'll tell you that. So that's very, very simple there. Keeping with the theme of bud switches, we have another one here, and this is the redstone ore bud switch, which has been used quite a few times. I don't think I've ever used it, but it's quite a popular one. You've got it going to exactly the same bud switch, so you can see over here it's just redstone dust to the repeater, and over here it's kind of curves around, torch, redstone dust around to the repeater. So it's exactly the same bud switch, except it runs into a different block. Now I've been only able to make this work when the redstone ore block is against a wall. I'm not sure if you can make it work in the middle of a room. I'm not quite sure. Maybe if you used a different kind of bud switch, maybe it will possibly work. But for now, you can only make it work like this. So listen for the piston. You can see when you walk over it, obviously redstone ore lights up when you walk over it, activates the bud switch. So that's a really, really cool one there. The next one we're going to move on to, we've got two more that I'm going to mention today, and for this we've got to get a very, very special block out. And basically what happens here is this is the activation block, and we're going to try and throw this in the middle, and we missed. Of course we missed. You got to really hit the middle of the block. This is not working today. There we go. I hit the middle of the block. You can see the lamp light up. And what this is a what activate? Oh, the redstone all turned off. This is a minecart with hopper, and basically what these do, if you put them on a rail underneath a block, For some reason, they kind of glitch and they can grab items from the middle of the block above it. I believe this will work with soul sand here and a hopper, but it's kind of conspicuous using soul sand, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. But this works with any block, I believe. Probably will work better with a half slab, I'm assuming. Yeah, you can throw it in the middle of the block, you can have a hopper underneath, and then you can just grab your item from the chest, so you're not even wasting an item. Very, very cool way, and probably my most favorite one. My last one here today is one I actually picked up off a person on the Instagram server, and that is Edcase. And this is a water bud switch, and it's really, really cool. You've got the water bud switch, and we've got a slightly different bud switch here. You may notice that this has a redstone block, so when it extends, it powers a block, whereas these ones, when they... That's a good example. See, when this one extends, it actually unpowers this redstone line. So just a different way of doing it. It'll power this redstone torch, and then repeater will unpower the bud. So it's kind of the opposite. And if you can see, it's just a regular bud switch, just as that. Very, very easy. And basically all you have to do is, this worked before. This is definitely working before. It's really strange. It was definitely working before. Wait up. Okay, I have fixed it. I swear it was working a second ago, but basically I just raised the water one. It has to have a block gap. Place the torch there, and you can hear the bud switch going. And you can also have a hopper below. You can kind of rework this to have the bud switch on the side, say, and you can have a hopper below to collect your torches you've desired. Okay guys, so I've showed you some of the inputs for the secret entrances. I've showed you a couple of basic designs, but right now I want to actually build a design with you live. Now, I've chosen a mechanism that I know is not too complicated, but it kind of fits with the theme of kind of putting all of these things together. So putting together double extenders and jeb door stuff and normal pistons and all that stuff. So we're actually going to build just a simple one wide staircase. It's not that complicated. The two wide staircase is much more complicated than this because the double extender is a little troublesome in that design. So if you want to have a go at home, I recommend you have a go at the two wide staircase design and try and make it really nice, because it's a bit harder. But what we're going to do right now is build a one wide design, and we're going to actually build the staircase first. So we'll go like that. We'll break the blocks out as we go, and you can't get down there, so this block needs to go down as well. Okay, so what we've got here, to move a block one block, we need one piston. To move it 2 blocks, we need a double extender. 3 blocks, we need a triple extender. Now, vertical triple extenders are huge, so what we're going to actually do, leave that there. What we're going to do is move this block to here instead of moving it all the way down. So that's what we're going to do. Now, what we have to do next is actually place our piston. So I'll do that quickly. Just like that. So you can see we've got a jeb door mechanic here. We've got our double extender down there. That's going to push it 2 blocks up, and this is going to push it 1 block up. Nice and easy. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do now is kind of a trick I apply not only to secret entrances, but for redstone mechanisms in general for me, and that is start from either end and work towards the middle. Now, it's not the right mentality, but it's the mentality I choose to follow anyway, and it's what we're going to use here. So what I mean by that is we're going to build the end of the mechanism, so that's the piston stuff, and then we're going to go and build the input device, and basically we're going to try and hook them up. If it doesn't work, we move one of the ends and then try again pretty much. And that is kind of what we're going to do. So we're going to actually build the pistons first. We're going to leave this one to the end because it's the easiest. And what we're going to do, we'll build the double extender first because that's the hardest. And what we're going to do is just quickly, we'll do this side because we'll do it the opposite side to the jeb door. Just to start off, I haven't built this in advance, so I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work properly. So let's do that. Beautiful. Okay guys, so this looks a little different from the last clip, and that's because I've reconfigured the double extender already because it was interfering with some of the jeb door wiring, or rather the jeb door wiring was interfering with the double piston. It was actually butting up this piston here, so we had to redo it already, and that is the kind of the nature of secret entrances such as this. So what we're going to do, dot here to power this piston. So this piston is going to get pushed to this position where this piston is, and you can see this dot is powering it. Very nice. We must run a repeater to that, just like that. So now our input block is this one, and an input block for the double extender is this one, so that's handy. And what? Oh, I forgot we couldn't do that. So we'll need to figure out a way for the input. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now we need to actually take it up to here, and the block we need to power is that one. Will do the trick. So how we're going to do that is through a bit of trickery, and I'm seeing how this is going to work already. Just like that. Can we just... Okay, good. So what we're going to do here is actually we just need to run this redstone line down to here. And what we're going to need to do is actually... Oh, we can't grab a redstone torch out of that. What we're going to do is actually do a bit of trickery, because this redstone line is still pointing into that. So that's a little cheat way there. And we're going to do... And what we're going to do now is grab a half slab, because I've done this a million times and I know that that's going to bud that piston there. So we're going to grab this half slab. And what you can actually see is if we're going to walk down this staircase, we can actually cover this up so there is no redstone visible still after all of this. So what this will do is be a rather slow jeb door mechanic. I don't think it's going to be very quick. It's probably a tick too slow. But just to make sure it works. Yep, I think it's a tick slower than usual, but that's fine. Is it? Oh no, that's the same speed because we've got the 2 ticks there. Oh, there you go. So what would happen now if we hooked them up? We should get the same. We should get the same thing happening where we have one block pushed to there and one block pushed up to here. So all we have to do now is hook up this piston, which is dead easy, and choose an activation device so we could hook the whole thing up. Okay, guys. So I had to play around and I decided to go with the water bud switch because why not? Just kind of a bit of a random choice. I decided to go with the bud switch, and I like the water one. I think it's cool. So what I've done here is actually put the redstone, the piston with the redstone block, and this is going to this line here, and this is the activation block. Well, this is the activation block for the double piston extender, and I just put a repeater into it so I could run this thing around. We can actually put that to there now because I just ran it up just in case we needed it like that. And you can see it's retracted perfectly, just like that, just like we expected, which is really cool with all this redstone running under the stairs and all this cool stuff. We can actually fill in our stairs a bit, just like this. I think it's really cool, and the stairs can work like that. I just think it's really cool. You can't see any of the redstone. Oh, you may be able to see a couple of dust, but that's about it. I really think that's cool. So what we're going to do here is actually just finish off the bud switch here. So it's going to be in this position. It's got to be on in this position. Yes, it's got to be on. So this has got to be on. Yep. So we just have to run the repeater to here. I think it's 2 ticks. I think so. I think this should work. Beautiful. Just like we expected. And now I don't actually want to activate that piston again. So let's just do a bit of this action. And then we can fill in the ground. Just like this. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that piston. That's fine. I just want to get the activation done first. And what we can do is actually do a bit of that. Grab a bucket of water. And I believe this should work, so let's try it. Beautiful, just like we expect. So let's just do the last little piston because it's really, really simple and I just left it to last. So all we do, put a thing there, like that. Look at that, so hard. And there we go. Hidden entrance, torch. And it's not quite worked because apparently this doesn't quite work. That's awesome. Let's increase that. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, sometimes the bud switches can have a bit of trouble with that, but that's fine. If you have trouble with that, just increase the delay on the repeater, and you can see Look at this beautiful secret entrance. Let's fill in the gaps. And look at that. You cannot see any redstone. So, of course, this would just be solid ground normally. If you were making one, you could only see one piston. Look at that. That is so good. And you can see all you need is the waterfall. And whack that in there. Just like that. So that is really cool. And that will end the episode today, guys. I really enjoyed building that, even if it took me forever. You do not know how many times I failed at that. But then again, that's kind of the thing about secret entrances. You just have to keep trying and trying until you can get the thing you desire, just as I did. Just reconfigure redstone and stuff like that. But ultimately, this is just made of a Jeb door and a double extender. And, well, and the activation device, I guess, if you want to count that. But that's it, guys. That is literally all it's made of. So it actually isn't that hard. The only hard bit is just kind of putting the redstone in where you want it to go, pretty much. So that's really a skill that comes with practice. You just have to learn where the redstone stuff goes, really. And yeah, that's all there really is to it, guys. So I very much hope you enjoyed this episode. It was very fun for me to make, actually. And kind of a different thing I've done in Redstone with Ripper. I've never really... I don't feel I've done an episode just like this, and it's really cool to actually talk to you guys about something I actually have a pretty good passion in secret entrances. So for that, I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching. Well downloaded in the description if you want to see anything you saw here today, and apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time, guys. See you later.